Hello everybody and welcome to the channel Out of Ammo, Out of Time. I am your host Krabby Terror Age, and here we are in episode, is it episode 4 or episode 3 of the Investigator Games episode 4, of the Investigator Games Elder Sign Omens edition. Yes, and here we are to see how Jenny Barnes goes up against Yig in the Investigator Games. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel and probably wondering what the hell the Investigator Games are, well, it's like the Hunger Games. So what we do is I play a number of different games in the Arkham Horror files. And in each case, what I do is I take each investigator true solo by themselves and throw them into the game against the horrors of the mythos and see how they go. And depending on their performance, I put them into a league table like this one. And we can see from this one, there's Harvey and Gloria and Sister Mary, etc., and how they've done. Now, the scoring for the Investigator Games in Elder Sign Omens is based on the game itself. It does the scoring for you based on various activities that the investigator does. And so then by the end of each season, with the old ones, we'll see which investigators are doing the best and which ones are doing not so well, and the ones who are doing best are covered in glory, and the ones at the bottom hang their heads in shame. So yes, here we are with Jenny Barnes and her twin shooters ready to roll. She's a bit of a dilettante, Jenny Barnes, and in fact, weirdly, I always record Arkham Horror, the card game, sort of a day or two after doing Elder Sign, and indeed I am going to be taking Jenny Barnes through the Midnight Masks on Arkham Horror, the card game, so there's a bit of a confluence of events right there. So let's have a look at Jenny. She's a person of means. We know that. She has a trust fund, and as we can see here, she's quite balanced in terms of her mental and physical strength. So she's a bit more mentally strong than physically strong, but she's good on both of those counts, which is good. She's not going to be going insane or dying too easily. She also has, before conjuring glyphs, Jenny may discard a common item, spell or clue to gain the red and yellow glyphs. So that's a very nice effect that she has, because it means that just an ordinary everyday items can be used to conjure up those glyphs. So if we have a look at, for example, some common items, she has a common item here, which is gain +1 stamina. Looks like a raw steak with potatoes and things. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a cooked steak, but you know, Jenny is a fairly sophisticated person, so perhaps she likes her steak super rare. Who knows? But that's an example of something we can discard to get the red and the yellow glyphs. The other thing is the spell item here, which allows her to restore sanity as well, which again can be thrown in for red or yellow glyphs. And to be honest, because we'll probably be gaining a fair number of trophies, we can probably use them for that, at least in the early parts of the game as well. Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't played Elder Signs and you haven't played Elder Signs Omens on the iPad or indeed on Steam, I would encourage you to do that first. I'm assuming you know how to play this game, so I would very much encourage you to do that first if you haven't played before. So let's go, and here we are. We're all set up with Yig. Yig is here, and here's our kit bag with our things in it. We're all set to go here in the museum. And I can already see, we don't have a midnight effect, but I can already see that our red and yellow glyphs are locked, which is a problem because we don't have any other way of dealing with that. So we're immediately at a bit of a disadvantage. So I'm a little bit worried about that for Jenny. But I think the first thing, of course, is to go around the houses and just see from the entrance and see what we have to deal with. So we have the archives, which doesn't have much of a downside, but and you get two rare items. I think they're called rare items. I always forget what they're called, but I think this is actually quite difficult, to be honest. Without putting in some red and yellow glyphs, it's going to be quite a difficult one to achieve. But with Jenny, if you just put in a common item, the payoff can be quite good, actually. This is haunted by a shadowy figure. This is great. I always enjoy this one. This is a fantastic outcome. Even though you get a monster, you get a whole lot of things and an elder sign. The downside is not that terrible for someone with reasonably high sanity, so definitely interested in doing this one. Then we've got Stay Away from the Windows, which is also quite nice with 2 elder sign effects, but big downside, doom, and I mean, we can do that, but you wouldn't want to tackle this without at least a red and yellow glyph in hand. That's for sure. Here we have the storage closet, and the storage closet is definitely worth pursuing. It's reasonably difficult because you have to do things in order, but you get an otherworld effect from doing it. So the payoff again, particularly once the other world is down, is quite significant. Then we have the hidden threat, which is relatively straightforward. The downside, not too bad. Payoff is big, so that's a good one as well. I like the hidden threat. And here we have, this is where the red and the yellow glyph are locked. It's the good old visiting antiquarian. Yes, this isn't too bad, and we really need to deal with this. The problem, first of all, though, is just how little we have. I mean, I suppose we've got ways of offsetting if we fail, but we're kind of relying on no red and yellow glyphs and getting the outcomes that we need. That's the only problem with that one. So that's the whole lot. So I have to say, them pretty good things there. I do want to get out the other world, but we need to deal with these red and yellow glyphs first. So the question is, do we go and straight up do that? Or do we look for something simple that's also going to give us some extra things like some re-rolls and something like that? This is a good example of that. Not that one. Not that one. This one as well. Yeah, the downside is fairly small for the hidden threat, but the upside is reasonably okay. Well, the only thing that's not going to give us potential red and yellow glyphs, I think, is only haunted by a shadowy figure. If I'm looking at these, no, this one too, but that's quite difficult to do without extra things. So what I might do is, before I tackle the visiting antiquarian, I think I might do this one. I think, yes. Let's do this one. It feels the easiest one to do without anything else. So I think we'll go ahead and do this one. So let's go ahead. I saw in commentary that someone said Elder Signs is a bit like Cthulhu Yahtzee, and it's actually quite a good way of thinking about it. It's a really fun game. So memories flooded my thoughts when I saw the thing. I knew that I deserved the awful death that it would bring. Oh, so it's rhyming as well. Lovely. Okay, so let's see how we go. We need a terror and a skull, and we get a terror and a skull. That was a good start. There we go. Wow. So we do create a monster. We do get an elder sign, but we get a re-roll, which is really great. So that's a good start. As long as the monster hasn't appeared with the visiting antiquarian, that would be problematic. Okay, so that's our first action. Our second action is let's deal with this visiting antiquarian. I feel like we've got a pretty good chance of doing this one now. And we want to get this out of the way so that we can use red and yellow glyphs. Visiting antiquarian. As I told the esteemed scholar that what I had discovered, his skepticism transformed into sheer dread. Indeed. Okay, well, hopefully I won't be feeling sheer dread doing this one. So let's roll it up and have a look. And it's a good start. So there we go. Now that was a good start because it means we're not taking the damage unless we absolutely have to in the next roll. So we're looking for some lore, and there's no lore. I think I might use this because I want to maximize the impact. Still no lore. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, well, we'll just keep rolling and just try again. There it is. Whew. Okay, so we got the lore, we took a damage, and the visiting antiquarian is gone, and we get a bunch of things as a consequence. So it's very nice. So far, so good. Okay, so Jenny's dealt with the visiting antiquarian, so we are now in a much better place to deal with things. Ah, yes, we can, yeah, all right. So, what do we do now? Let's have a look. We've got some new things on the table. So this has not changed. The archives is the same as it was before. And we could go there. We've got a terrible discovery, which is actually quite a nice discovery to give us an elder sign. We've also got stay away from the windows, which also now we could do. Very nice for a double. This one here, I want to do this one because I want to get out the other world. Or do we wait? Because we've got 2 turns and another... I'm wondering whether we should go for this, because what I don't want to happen is that we get another world and we end up with a monster on one of these really good ones. You know, it's good to actually get the good ones out of the way before the monsters start turning up. So I might do this now. Are we prepared for it? I think we are. Yeah, I think we are. So let's do this stay away from the windows for the double effect. This is the image that they use for the obscuring fog in Arkham Horror the card game. I'm sorry to keep talking about Arkham Horror the card game, but I just know it quite well. As much as I fear the dark places among the exhibits, I fear the pools of pale moonlight even more. I have learned all too well to stay away from the ornate windows throughout the museum. Oh, okay. So let's, yeah, indeed, I'm going to chuck this in because our sanity's fine. So we're going to throw that in to get ourselves a red and a yellow glyph. And let's roll up and see what we get. Well, this is interesting. So, what do we do here? What's more? Well, we can't put in the 8. Well, we could. We could. Because we could do 4, 7, 8. That's the 8. And then just see how we go from there. Oh dear, that was maybe not such a good idea. So we need double skulls, and we don't have double skulls. Oh dear, I think I made a mistake. Whoops. Oh, my goodness. Oh, how lucky are we, Jenny? Wow, look at that. I thought we were a goner then for sure. No, but we got we're right up to 3 elder signs. We are cooking with gas here. Fantastic. And I think we got another otherworld effect as well. So there we go. Very, very nice. Now, yeah. So here we are. We let's have a look now. We could take on the terrible discovery. We could do the storage closet. The elder sign effect we wouldn't use because there's no doom at the moment. So we want to keep that one so that we can put the doom effect back one. The hidden threat is a relatively easy one to do, even though there's a monster on it. It's weird because you get the monster and then you get back another monster if you fail. But I'm thinking maybe this one might be the one to do. Gate to elsewhere. I'm holding off doing these gates, but I think that's maybe not such a smart idea. The reason is if a monster then turns up at midnight, that could plop onto one of these gates, and then we've... but there are two. There's that one, the gate to elsewhere, and there's this one. So this one is 3, 3, and 2 law, and you've got to do them in order, so that's quite difficult. Gate to elsewhere is 3 law, but you can do them in any order. Yeah, why don't we give this one a go, because I like the re-rolls as well. So let's do this gate to elsewhere. Now, do we use up do we actually give ourselves some extra life, or do we use that to give ourselves a red and a yellow glyph? Well, I feel like we're okay, so I think we can use that one to give ourselves a red and a yellow glyph. And let's see how we go. Well, wow, okay. So that's a pretty good start. Now the problem is that we can play one or the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this, I'm just going to really make this easy for ourselves. I'm going to slock those two. I'm going to actually discard one and lock another. And then there is no danger of us failing this one. There we go. Okay, so that was a success. That was all really great. Okay. So there we go. Ah, wouldn't you know it? A midnight effect just as we get to midnight. I hate that. I hate that when that happens. I think it's a stamina effect. Or it might be a monster, I'm not sure. So plus 2 doom. Ouch. And what's the midnight effect? -1 stamina. Ouch. Oh, I hate those midnight effects. Okay. Right. Just after we use... Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get our life back up to full because we can't afford to have that happening. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Second thing we are going to do is we're going to deal with this pesky midnight effect. Because we don't really want this hanging around. So we can throw in a recall. I actually want the rerolls, so I don't want to do that. So because I think we've got some other ones anyway. The hedge maze. I have walked this maze dozens of times, but I could find my way blindfolded. How could I possibly have gotten so lost? Good question. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use my re-rolls because they're quite valuable, because we've got to get a lot of skulls in this one. Well, there you go. We get 2 skulls to start with. So we get the 2 skulls. So that's good. We just need a skull and a 2. We get a skull and a 1. So we'll throw in the 1. We'll hold the skull. It shouldn't be too hard to get a 2. Oh yeah, there it is. There we go. Skull and a 3. Easy. Okay. There we go. Success. That's the midnight effect dealt with. Oh, okay. All right. All right, Jenny, what should we do now? So I think quite a few things have changed. So let's go around again. So here's this one, the archives, which was there before but now has a monster on it. Which makes it less attractive, so I'm not that interested in that one. The Abyss also has a monster on it, but gives me 2 Elder Signs. So we don't have a monster killing ability, and this would put the Doom up, but we would get 2 Elder Signs in the process. Yeah, downside isn't too bad. There's the Terrible Discovery. Yep, which we knew about. The Secret Gathering. Wow. This is another Otherworld. Wow, if only Gloria Goldberg had gotten this one. This isn't too bad as well. Problem is, it's another monster. The monsters are piling up a little bit. The storage closet, as we know. And this one, which is also good. So, and then the hidden thread, of course, there's lots. Well, I like the idea of a double, which ones have got double elder signs? That one does. So what I might do is, I wouldn't mind the Doom track going backwards somewhat. So, and I wouldn't mind some more re-rolls because, we've got 2 re-rolls. But this one's quite hard because you have to get them at the time. So what I might do is I might start with this one. Let's do this one. Let's do the Abyss. In the darkness between worlds, between dimensions, it was there that my quest nearly ended. Horrid things of nightmare clutched at me unseen, since they thankfully shied away from my lantern. Okay, so we could throw away a reroll to conjure all glyphs, or we could simply use that. We've got a red and we've got a yellow, so let's just use those. Might as well use what we've got because the rerolls are quite valuable. So that was a pretty terrible, roll, but it's enough to get rid of the monster, even though that puts the Doom up. So we'll do that. And there we go. We didn't even need anything else. Wow. Easy. There we go. So we got 2 Elder Signs and a bunch of other things, including some monster killing. So already up to 6. So we're doing pretty well. We must be, we're 1 away from midnight. How much? Well, I've got enough to buy an Elder Sign. So what should we do now? We've got lots of stuff, including some monster killing. So are there any other doubles? Oh yeah, this was the one we were going to do. I think we'll go ahead and do this one. I think this was a good one to do. So we will go ahead and do this one. The Elder Sign one. We can throw away one of our one of these 2. We only got 2 of them. We've got 2 of them. Which do we do? Do we just use the red glyph? I feel like we just use the red glyph. I don't know that we need the yellow glyph. Let's see how we go. So the first thing we need is the law. And get the law and take a mental trauma or a mental impact. Now, do we want to hold anything over? We don't. So let's just roll again and we get the other one. Fantastic, but we take physical damage for that. Don't want to hold anything over, so let's roll again. Now we've got the 2 here, but we don't have the law, so I think I might roll up now. Don't think we need to keep the 2. Let's just roll up maximum. Look at that. There we go. Easy. So we got the law, got the 2 clues. There we go. Fantastic. So the Doom track goes backwards by 1. Brilliant. So we're up to 7, so we should easily do this next time. All right. So Jenny's just got to survive this midnight effect. Boing. What's she got for us this time? Oh, just a monster. Okay. Is that it? Wow. Okay. So we're up to 7, so we just need to get 3 more. In fact, we only need 2 more because we can buy the 3rd. So we just need 2 Elder Signs. And this one we can kill the maniac. So there's 1. And there's 2. So why don't we just go ahead and do this one? This should be relatively easy for us to do. Hidden threat. Later, I would recall of the stranger who asked me for the time that at the time was a snake around his neck. Well, you would remember that, wouldn't you? What do we do here? Do we really need... Because we only need to get 2 skulls. Because this will die. So I might just go ahead and see if we can do it. Because we will kill the maniac. Goodbye. And we'll skull. So we just need to get 1 more skull. Don't get another skull. Let's try and re-roll for 1. Come on, give us a skull. There we go. That's a skull. Okay, so there we go. We got 8. So we've only got to get 2 more. All right. So what shall we? Let's go for the easiest one. So that one's not too bad. Yeah, terrible discovery. That's got terrors and things, so that's a bit more challenging. That's got terrors as well. So yeah, this one, a terrible discovery. Okay, what does this say? What was it that I saw? I cannot say. My mind rebels at the very thought of recalling that which stood before me. I fear madness is truly preferable to a clear memory of that unspeakable thing. Oh, okay. Wow. There we go. Okay, so here we go. So I think we might as well use up some of these things because no point keeping them. Red and yellow glyphs. So there we go. We've got the full complement, and we can hold something, we can re-roll. So hopefully we should be able to do this. And well, that's not a great start because we didn't end up with anything except 1 skull. No, sorry, 1 law. Well, that was useless. So let's start by rolling everything up except the skull. Oh, it wasn't the skull. What am I doing? Ugh. Okay, let's do the 2 law. And let's hold the terror. So all we need is a 3. There we go. Easy. Done. Okay, so there we go. There's the 9, which just means Jenny Barnes has just got to dip into the old pocket. And we're done. So we're off to the souvenir shop and we buy an elder sign, and that's it. We are done. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Jenny Barnes did that relatively easily. Her final score, 3,110, does not put her at the top, though. Jenny Barnes, Season 1. Yig. Let's do it. Let's have a look at the breakdown. So she took 10 turns to do it. So she only took 10 turns to do it. There was 6 empty doom slots, and she got the 10 elder signs. But I think she did that with relatively few adventures and things. So a total score 3,110. Indeed. So we will see how she looks on the main menu, but I think the others are not there anymore. So yeah, unfortunately I had to reset my computer, so the other ones are not on there. So anyway, we will see where Jenny Barnes is on the league table after this. And we can have a look at that. Now, in terms of next time, we'll be just move forward here. Next time we will be playing with Joe Diamond. So Joe Diamond will be our next investigator next time on the Investigator Games Elder Sign Omens. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Krabby Terror 8, and until next time. Goodbye.